Hi, Trixie! Welcome home. Yes, it was a long and very interesting party over back on Mobius, but Trixie is back. So, what fic are we doing today? Oh, I'm Icon. Really? Well, yeah, Trix, we've been doing this show for 10 years. The audience kind of expects Icon to be predominant. I mean, his stories have kind of been a hallmark of the show for a while and has kind of been a audience grabber. It would feel only appropriate to go after a Micah story. He thought we were doing, a remaster as we taste a cake. That one alternate universe Trixie story you were thinking of. And then something unexpected. People are expecting Mike to be a part of this 10-year anniversary you've got planned. I know, but hey, on the bright side, congratulations. Congratulations on what? Your friend-versary. Xerxes, what? Your friend-versary. You and Starlight are so close and you're such great friends that Pinkie Pie suggested that you two have a friend-versary to celebrate. And that's coming up. Oh my Luna! You're right! It is Trixie's friend-versary! Oh, Trixie had it all set up too. She had plans, and she completely forgot. Oh no. Starlight's going to find out that Trixie forgot, and Starlight's going to think that Trixie's the worst friend ever, and she's not going to be Trixie's friend anymore. Trixie, it's okay. I've got Raindrops outside. She's going to take you out shopping. You two can find a perfect gift, alright? You still have time to go get your plans. Now go! Thanks! You're one of the best employees ever. Goodbye! Let's bring her. Yes, Dinobot. Did you purposely plan all those excursions to happen right around when Trixie's friend-versary would show up, so you continue to distract her just long enough to escape from your eventual punishment and whatever Trixie's going to do to you? Dinobot. You've been here for a few years, yes? Yes. You've seen how I operate and how the show operates, right? Yes. Do you honestly think of me to be so underhanded, so devious, so tricky that I had this planned well in advance when I found out about the request? Quite frankly, yes. I don't even know what's the question. Yeah, you're right. Still, keep that. Yes. Get the bike. I might need to move to the Cloudsdale office for ever. On it already, boss. You people have no idea who lives in this office. But anyway, 3-minute intro done. Let's get to it. Episode 12, Showmare's Flaunt. What about the amazing and magical Twilight? Trixie offered as she took another bite of her pancake. The lavender unicorn across the table from her adopted a triumphal frown. I don't know. It doesn't exactly flow like yours does. I guess not. Trixie racked her brain. What about the pretty and mysterious Twilight? As attended, that brought a timid little smile to Twilight's face, as she averted her eyes in favor of fiddling with her fork. It's a little presumptuous, I think. I'm not really mysterious, am I? Trixie rolled her eyes. Alright, fine. You try one. Certainly enough, Twilight's face lit up into a grin, and she looked back up at Trixie. She'd probably been waiting for that information all morning. I was thinking more along the lines of the educated and well-read Twilight, said the purple unicorn cheerily. Trixie's hoof met face. At some point didn't exactly grasp the concept of coming up with an exciting title. So it was better to bother telling Twilight as much by loud, ground-shaking thump from outside. Both unicorns turned their eyes towards the door, which creaked open just enough for a gray-coated snout to poke through, bearing a letter in its teeth. "Agent Mail for Trixie Lulumoon," came the muffled voice of the mailman. Eyebrows raised in surprise. Trixie reached out with her magic and grasped the letter. Thank you," she guessed as she tugged it gently from the pony's grip. "My pleasure." For those of you who have your Luniverse bingo cards, that's 2 members of the Luniverse team showing up in this fic. With that, the gray snoot disappeared and the door clicked shut behind it, leaving Trixie to levitate the letter over to her breakfast table. "Urgent mail?" Twilight repeated, raising an eyebrow. "Who's it from?" Trixie shrugged as she magically broke the official-looking wax seal on the envelope and removed the letter within. A brief glance at the document was enough to reveal that it was from Manhattan. Those ponies who were organizing the Manhattan display, to be exact. So he smiled away Twilight over. The bookish mare tilted her head in question as he rose to her hose and trotted around the table to stand behind Trixie, who held the letter so both of them could see it. "Dear Miss Trixie Lulumoon," Twilight read aloud, "we are delighted to hear that you and your partner will be competing in the Manhattan display this year. The purpose of this letter is to provide you with information on important dates and times pertaining to the event, and also regarding special benefits granted to the competitors." The letter revealed that the opening ceremony for the event would begin at midnight, just under 2 weeks' time, and they would need to be in Manhattan, ready for their introduction on the following morning. Apparently, it was there they would receive the details regarding the first event. "Oh look, we get to stay at a hotel," said Twilight excitedly, applying a huff and something further down the page. "Reservations are made for all competitors to stay in Manhattan's Pegasus Down Hotel for the week-long duration of the event. 1 room per pair." She looked over at Trixie with a wide smile. "Looks like we're gonna be roommates." Trixie read the section herself to make sure, then returned Twilight's smile. Secretly, this showman was just excited about the prospect as Twilight was. Why, though, she wasn't sure. Sleeping in the same room wouldn't be a lot different than just sleeping in the same house, would it? Except, Trixie thought with a smirk, did she have a smiling view of Twilight looking back at her as he drifted off to sleep each night. "Well, what are you looking at?" said Twilight, turning her brow as much suspicion and mimicking the smirk. "Nothing," said Trixie calmly. She held the gaze and the smirk for a long moment, until Twilight started looking adorably uncomfortable. Then, satisfied, the showmare blinked mercifully and turned her attention back to the letter. "Looks like we're going to have to make our own travel arrangements." "I could arrange for a horse-drawn carriage," said Twilight. "I've never been to Manhattan other than by chariot, but I've heard it's a nice journey on the ground." "Or you could take a train." Trixie nodded, only half listening. She found herself staring blankly at the letter, her name upon it and the official seal and signature at the bottom. She gave a little half smile as reality started to set in. Beside her, Twilight cocked her head. "Trixie, is something wrong?" "No, not wrong," said Trixie dreamily. "It's just, I'm really going to complete into this bay." Twilight stayed silent for a long moment. When she did speak, it was with a warm smile in her voice. "You deserve it, Trixie. I know how much it means to you, and I'm glad I can help." Trixie smiled heartily and magically folded up the letter. "I know, Twilight. I'm glad too." "But don't forget about the flare either," said Twilight. "He's the one who got you the invitation after all." Trixie chuckled as she slipped the letter back into its envelope. "Believe me, Twilight, I have no intention of forgetting him," she said with a dark cheer in her voice. In fact, she had a special thank you in mind for him, which involved wiping the floor with him in front of thousands of cheering spectators. Okay, look. I know Trixie might have actually would have said it if it was true, but, and I know we've got no evidence right now, but I've still got 10 bits on this turning out to be Trixie's dad. That there's going to be a total surprise that we're going to see Trixie's dad at this point. As a matter of fact, Dinofat and Kivat both are on my side about this. The rest of the crew in the studio are currently against me right now about that this being Trixie's dad, but hey, I think our chances are good. Besides, we seem to have been picking up a whole bunch of Trixie family members in our fanfic journey, haven't we? We've gotten her legendary grandpa, We've gotten her mother on the Twixie Answers Tumblr. We've gotten Checker Monarch, and on Pony POV, we've given her a whole slew of sisters. Might as well give her a dad that she needs to be antagonistic towards. Good? Twilight guessed, clearly unnerved by Trixie's demeanor. The showmare quickly turned to smirk at her. Anyway, said Twilight hurriedly, if we only got less than 2 weeks left before the event, we should probably be practicing other than sitting around talking, right? Picking up on the not at all subtle change of subject, Trixie Seville giggled. Yes, I suppose we should be. So, what's on your infamous checklist this morning? More hoofball practice? Twilight shook her head and strode around the table to where her last few pancakes still sat on the plate. Actually, I was kind of hoping we could do something else today. She idly dug her fork into a pancake and glanced up at Trixie. Something I was hoping you could teach me. Trixie raised an eyebrow. And what could the great and powerful Trixie possibly have to teach the educated and well-read Twilight Sparkle? She teased. The Letter Unicorn prodded her pancake a couple more times, avoiding Trixie's gaze. I've never performed states before, not like you have. She began quietly. I don't know anything about being a showmare. What's to know? You just go out there and flaunt yourself to the crowd, Trixie said with a shrug. Twilight managed to look up. Well, that's what you do, sure, but I've never really flaunted myself before. Her cheeks reddened a little, and out of embarrassment for the fact of the word, she gulped, shook her head, and reasserted herself before continuing. I was hoping you could teach me, show off. Trixie blinked. With all of Twilight Sparkle's knowledge and talent, she never once thought to learn how to show it off. It was almost ridiculous, but then again, this was Twilight Sparkle. She wasn't exactly a normal mare. As another smirk made his way into the Astral Unicorn's face, she gave an amused grunt. That, Twilight Sparkle, I could do. Trixie had never really taught anyone, anything before, so she didn't know the first thing about how she was going to do this. Considering that Twilight's previous teacher had been Princess Celestia herself, Trixie had a lot to live up to. Of course, she wasn't about to let that stop her. She hastily decided that she would need a stage to practice upon, and set upon arranging the reading tables against the wall to buy herself some time to think. Once she had finished with that, she had Twilight stand atop it and wait, while she, Trixie, found the perfect spot from which to play the audience. And after several long minutes of searching, she found it directly in front of the center stage. Much to Twilight's annoyance. At long last, Trixie settled herself down to a reading stool and looked up at Twilight. She was now shuffling her hooves against the wood, glancing down over the edge of the stage. It's kind of high, the Bookish Unicorn observed with a nervous frown. That's so you can look down on your audience, so that the ponies in the back can see you better, Trixie said sagely. She smirked to herself as Twilight nodded in understanding. Maybe this teaching wasn't going to be so difficult after all. Okay, so what do I do now? Said Twilight. Trixie frowned and thought for a second. The first thing you do when you get on stage is introduce yourself. Twilight gave her a questioning look. Just introduce myself? The showmare nodded. Okay. Twilight cleared her throat, drew herself a little, and took a breath before giving Trixie her most welcoming smile. Hello, my name is Twilight Sparkle. I'm a student under the tutelage of Princess Celestia, currently studying friendship in the small town of Ponyville. Twilight, Trixie interrupted deadpan. Twilight looked disappointed at Trixie. Question? Trixie Huff met her face for the second time that morning, and she had a feeling, not for the last. Twilight, when I said introduce yourself, I meant... She paused, not quite sure how to explain it. Do you remember my magic show? The one you held in Ponyville? Twilight guessed. No, the one I held when we met in Trottingham, said Trixie with a roll of her eyes. But I've never been to... Twilight broke off as she saw the look that Trixie was giving her. Oh, right, sorry. Yes, I remember your show, sort of. Trixie smiled. Good. Did I assume you remember my entrance? Well, it's kind of hard to forget that, said Twilight, waving a hoof. You definitely made an impression. Exactly, said Trixie proudly. And that's what you need to do. Make an impression on your audience. Make it short, snappy, and powerful. And show them that you mean business. Twilight gulped and nodded shortly. I mean business. Okay, got it. Just give me a sec. She turned her eyes to the ground and started mouthing silently to herself. Trixie folded her fetlock and rolled her eyes as she waited. Eventually, Twilight looked back up with a smile on her face, declaring she was ready. She drew herself up again and cleared her throat. When she smoked, it was a lot more volume and fervor than before. "Citizens of Manhattan!" she called out, now high and eyes determined. "Prepare to feast your eyes on the most studious and magical unicorn in all of Equestria!" She finished by throwing a hoof outwards in kind of a clumsy salute. It was prompted a giggle from Trixie. Hearing this, Twilight let her own breath with laughter herself. "That was good," said Trixie after a moment, raising a hoof to her lips to steady herself. "It was silly," Twilight corrected between giggles. "Yours didn't sound anything like that." The show mare shook her head with a smile. "You can't expect to be as great and powerful as Trixie on your first try. After all, this is Trixie's talent. Speaking of which," said Twilight, managing to control her voice, "do I have to start talking in the third person, or is that more of a stylistic choice?" Even though Twilight had clearly meant that as a joke, Trixie's smile wavered a little. "No," she said, avoiding Twilight's eyes. "That's really just my thing." "Sorry," Twilight guessed, biting her lip. Trixie shook her head and got to her hooves, eager to change the subject. She forced just a smile and tried forwards. Her previously injured hoof gave her no trouble as she clambered up to the stage and turned to face her partner, who was now giving her a quizzical stare. "Forget that," said Trixie, her smile returning to her smirk. "Come here, and let's work on the endurance of yours." It wasn't difficult to get into the practice and improv routine. Twilight would try something, Trixie would critique a show, or a example of how it was supposed to be done. Then Twilight would correct herself accordingly. Not every attempt was as amusing as the first, but overall the exercise was a lot of fun. For hours they played on and off at their makeshift stage, the practice punctuated here and there by bouts of laughter and playful teasing. The morning passed almost without them noticing, and neither of them so much considered stopping for lunch as they moved straight on from dramatic introductions to a mode of casting, with which Twilight had equal amounts of trouble. Trixie couldn't remember the last time she enjoyed herself so much. "No, that's still too plain. You need to rear up and throw out your hooves. Show the audience letting you know how great and powerful you are," Trixie said with a smile. "I'll show you. Oh, watch closely." The show mare motioned for Twilight to take a step back. While she did, while smiling expectantly, Trixie turned to face the imaginary audience, shuffled her hose, and cleared her throat. She gave a good 3 count, which channeled her magic into her horn as she reared up. "What's in she cried, throwing her 4 hose and sending a magical firework into the air. It struck the ceiling and exploded into a rain of multi-chrome sparkles and floated down around Trixie like snowflakes. Having practiced the trick several times in front of a mirror, Trixie didn't have to see herself to know how amazing it looked. When she touched down and the last of the sparkles faded, Trixie turned to her partner with a smirk. Twilight had excited glint in her eye. "Come on, let's try it together," Trixie prompted, beckoning Twilight towards her. The lavender unicorn trotted forwards without hesitation to stand beside Trixie, casting her a warm smile. "I'm ready," said Twilight brightly. "Got the spell in mind?" asked Trixie. Twilight nodded. Satisfied, Trixie gave her one last smirk before turning towards the audience again. "All right, on 3, a 1, a 2, 3!" Together, they kicked off with their 4 hooves in perfect time, horns leading up as they did. "What's in awe?" they yelled, their voices intermingling to make a strangely music harmonic. Trixie let off her spell, the same as before. This is Twilight cast her own. Whether it was a combination of spells that did, or it was just Twilight getting overexcited, Trixie didn't know, but something brought forth a blasting light in front of them. Caught completely off guard, Trixie let out a loud, painful yelp as her vision went blank, as she started stumbling around to keep her balance. The flash had caught Twilight too, so she brought her own yelp and the sound of clumsy hoof steps. Trixie's hoof slipped from the table just as Twilight bumped into her, and they instinctively grabbed hold of one another. The next thing Trixie knew, she was on her back, with one hoof caught under something, and something else wrapped around one of her hind legs. She gave a little groan, only to find that it morphed into a chuckle of strange warmth she was feeling. Somebody else was giggling too, a familiar mare's voice. "I must have hit my head," Trixie thought. It was only somehow absurd to make the whole thing seem funnier. The tangled soul mare brought her one free 4 hoof up to her eyes and rubbed them, trying to clear the darkness. As the haze began to fade, she began to blink into view and an equally dazed-looking Twilight sparkle. When Trixie had regained her bearings, she found that her forehoof was wrapped around underneath Twilight, and that Sitbogen's mare had both of her hind legs wrapped around one of Trixie's. To say the position was awkward was a bit of an understatement. Ring! The most porn fix start this way. Their eyes met. Trixie bit her lip to fight out the aching urge that burst into laughter again. For her heart, Twilight was still snickering a little, though she was obviously trying to manage a look of concern. Are you all right? Twilight asked between snickers. Trixie gulped and nodded confirmation, her smile threatening to escape her face. She felt perfectly fine. She didn't count feeling a little dizzy and looked as if her partner was in the same boat. Even so, part of her wanted to ask if Twilight was okay, though she feared that opening her mouth would give way to bubbling laughter in her stomach. Good, said Twilight. Before Trixie could make up her mind, they stared at each other for a long moment, waiting for Twilight's giggles to die down. After that, when at last he did, the larger unicorn held her smile as he said in a mock pout, I'm not very great and powerful, Trixie. The shellmare gave her own snort of laughter, but the band didn't break. Instead, the laughter drew out into a happy sigh, and the rest of mirth brought as strength as impulse. Gingerly as she dared, Trixie brought her hoof to the side of Twilight's head. The larger unicorn didn't say anything, nor did she give Trixie any questioning looks. She just pursed her lips and waited. Yes? As Trixie touched her hoof to Twilight's mane, all of her reservations seemed to fade away. A warm feeling spread down her fetlock into her chest as she ran her touch through the tidy striped mane. It was unsurprisingly sleek and soft to the touch, like a brushing cloud or a fluffy critter. When she reached to the end, she brought her hoof back to Twilight's ear and slid through it again, falling into a quiet, dreamlike rhythm. Yes? Twilight didn't interject. Her lips curled to a smile as she stared at Trixie with eyes that were like those when she stared back at the Silmare each morning. No, the same color perhaps, but they were different, warmer, more sparkly. Look at the sky, tell me what do you see? Just close your eyes and describe it to me. The heavens are sparkling tonight, that's what I see through your eyes. I see the heavens each time that you smile. I hear your heartbeat just go on for miles. And suddenly I know my life is worthwhile. That's what I see through your eyes. Here in the night, I see the sun. Here in the dark, our two hearts are one. It's out of our hands. We can't stop what we've begun. And life just took me by surprise, looking through your eyes. Trixie's mind was blank. She probably had a concussion, but it's okay. She was content to lay there for seconds or minutes, that she did, simply to brush her hoof through Twilight's perfectly kept hair, until... Hey, Twilight! Darn you, Spike! Could you wait 5 more minutes? Came Spike's voice, accompanied by the sound of a door opening. That girlie just got to pick up my... Whoa! He broke off, because he sighted them. Are you guys okay? Twilight drew a sharp breath as if snapped out of a daze. She blinked rapidly, craned her neck to look towards Spike, instantly breaking whatever spell Trixie had been under. The snowmare quickly withdrew her hoof and followed Twilight's eyes to a concerned-looking baby dragon that stood halfway across the room. We're fine, Spike, said Twilight, unsubtly disentangling her hind legs. I tripped and Trixie tried to catch me. No damage done. Spike hugged her relief. Oh, good. Well, like I said, I just gotta grab something and I'll be out of your hair. Just like that, he started towards the staircase, leaving Trixie to wonder what just happened. Well, she knew what had just happened, of course. And she was honest, she knew why it happened as well. What she really began to wonder was what might have happened not for the eruption. One of the best damn looking lip blocks I probably want to see in my fracking life. Spike stopped suddenly at the bottom of the stairs. He cast a questioning look back at him. Sorry, but what's with the tables? He asked. Shaking herself back to the present, Trixie was quickly to extricate her hoof from beneath Twilight and give her to her host. It's the stage wrangling! She said, "We were practicing." Spike cracked his brow. "Practicing? For what?" Trixie smirked a furrowed eyebrow as he turned to Twilight, wondering how the silly dragon could have gotten such powerful powers of deduction. For her part, Twilight just managed to stand herself up, simply smiling at Spike. "Just a magic show, Spike. Nothing to worry about," she said offensively. The dragonling blinked. So did Trixie. "Oh, okay," Spike said, giving a little shrug. With that, he turned to make his way up the stairs, leaving Trixie to stare blankly at Twilight. The lavender unicorn carefully brushed off her chest a little hoof before turning to offer Trixie a smile. "He doesn't know," Trixie quizzically. "Doesn't know what?" Trixie cocked her head. "About the display. Haven't you told him?" Well, no." Twilight moved the head tilt. "Like I said, it's nothing for him to worry about. I'm just going to Manhattan for a week." "And you don't think you should tell him that you're going to compete in one of the most prestigious magical talent shows of all time?" said Trixie doubtfully. A frown crossed her face as a worrying thought occurred to her. "You are sure that you want to go through with this, aren't you?" Twilight nodded emphatically and adopted a serious expression. "Of course, I really am. I just don't want anyone to think that's a big deal." Trixie's frown deepened. "It's a big deal to me." Twilight's face lit up red as he started stammering. That's not what I didn't mean." "Good. See you later, Twilight, Trixie," Spike called out as he made his way down the stairs towards the door. "Have your fun with practice or whatever." Trixie turned to him, and Twilight gulped down her stammering to flash him a smile. "Bye, Spike," they called together. The door closed, and they turned to back one another. Twilight looked at us since he wasn't sure what to say, but really didn't need to say anything. "It's okay," said Trixie with a shake of her head. "I know you didn't mean it like that. Sorry." Twilight took a breath to calm herself. "It's a big deal to me too, Trixie. I just meant that I don't want it to become a big deal for my friends. Something they think they have to worry about or help with or something. Do you know what I mean?" "No, not really," said Trixie honestly. Twilight hung her head and sighed. Trixie then smiled. "But that's okay," she said. "Your friends are your department. We'll keep it a secret if that's what you think is best." She paused and adopted a lopsided smile. "Of course, when we win, they're going to hear about it anyway." The Labrador unicorn gave a small smile at that. "I guess you have a point there." She slowly turned to look up at Trixie. As her eyes began to look again, Trixie unconsciously gulped. Her mouth slowly went dry. "For me." She began to pausing lick her lips. "It's enough to know that you care." Kiss. Kiss. Silence fell over the library as the two stared at each other. Trixie's face turned red with embarrassment as she immediately regretted her choice of words, and averted her eyes in a hurry. She tried to think of some way to take it back, without taking it back. That sounded better in my head," Trixie muttered, which made the whole situation so much less awkward. "Kiss!" Another moment of silence. Then Trixie felt a hoof against her chin. Toy Sparkle guided the azure unicorn head upwards until their eyes met. She was smiling, but not in amusement. A more kind, understanding smile. Made Trixie's breath catch at her throat. "Yes! Yes!" "I know what you mean." And she did. Even Trixie didn't really know herself. She had a distinct feeling that Twilight did. It was weird. A little scary, maybe. She wasn't sure what to think, but she knew one thing for certain. There was something new about the way Twilight was smiling at her. For a fleeting moment, she felt seconds away from figuring out, "Yes! Yes!" And then, oh no. "Sorry, guys! Oh, Celestia, dang it!" came Spike's voice again. "I just need to get one more. Spike!" Me, Twilight, and Trixie snapped together, full of feeling thoroughly annihilated.